Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to our little bit of a late stream.
A little bit.
Just a few minutes. We had a couple of things we wanted to grab before we went live that we had to get. You might have seen accidentally
An axe.
an axe appear. But we have a great stream lined up for today. Actually, we have a video and a pretty good announcement, big announcement.
It's a big announcement. It's good for the studio. It's good for you guys. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. I'm excited. So why don't we start? Where are we starting out off?
We should be starting with the December cosmetics, I do believe.
Oh, we just want to jump into that?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Why don't we talk a little bit about how things have been going here at the studio first?
Sure.
With regards to some new hires that we've gotten and growing.
Yeah, we continue to do that. It's been an aggressive push for us. Everybody knows, we've kind of gone into full production mode, and that means staffing up, and that means working hard. It's been kind of crazy here, I think. We are full to the brim with people, and yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah,
really frenetic, really crazy, really good pace.
Yeah, we put up a bunch of new positions about 2 months ago, and we've hired a bunch of new positions. And as a matter of fact, I think we'll be sending out a newsletter probably next week, just before Christmas, with those people and their names and their
background, their history,
photos.
where they come from.
Exactly, some very good experience. Yeah, we're pretty excited about that.
It's always been good hiring here in San Diego. There's a lot of talent around, and it's been kind of really nice.
And we'll be announcing new hiring for new positions starting just after the first of the new year.
Yep. We're going to continue to be aggressive in acquiring people. Our interview process takes a little while.
Yes.
We want to always make sure that we get the right people for the right position. But it always results in really good quality work. We've been super stoked with kind of where we're at right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a bunch of new space to hire right after the first of the new year,
which
as
we
well.
need badly.
Badly.
We're putting people in closets over here.
But looking at the new server room and how great that was at the new place.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. I think we get a little bit more elbow room.
All the desks can go up and down. Standing desks.
Nice.
Those are cool. There's a bunch of breakout rooms.
Yeah, everybody can meet and not bother everybody on the open floor. Kevin McPherson loves that. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's really appropriate for our studio right now, and yeah, it'll give us the room to kind of hire the next phase of people. Again, we're trying to get up to about 100 by the summer, midsummer.
I think it's about June.
So right now we're right around 50.
That are here at the studio here in San Diego. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing about as soon as we're in the new place, we're going to do a little tour.
Yeah,
that'd be a cool little tour video. Yeah, be interesting. But also, we've been doing a lot of testing over the past. Well, we started testing on Apocalypse, as we called it, Alpha 1 Phase 1, but now is Apocalypse. We did that. We started back in September, right after PAX, right? Yeah. And
got a lot of good information.
an unbelievable amount of good data that goes towards perfecting the server infrastructure for the different alphas and betas that we intend to go into. It allows us to get our account management and a new website getting up. It allows our fulfillment and account services on the back end to get up. A lot of the optimization for having hundreds of players in the same area together, we've been able to collect a lot of good information on that and perfect that. We're getting to a really good spot on a lot of the testing that we've been doing.
Yeah, it's feeling really good, and it's great. I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people who are watching right now have participated, and again, like we really honestly couldn't do it without you. We need people, like actual people. There's a lot of automation we can do on our side to kind of vet a lot of the stuff that we're doing, but when it comes to real world data, we can't do it without people. And so, it comes in fits and starts in terms of like the progress that some of our testers may be seeing, but we're getting really close to the finish line here. We've almost got everything in place. we can see the finish line, and I think we're getting real close to something really exciting.
And I know we've said it in the past, but honestly, the Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 backers who are participating currently in testing, they are troopers because there are times where we'll take a few steps forward in fixing certain issues, but there's an old kind of the way coding kind of works is you 99 bugs on the wall, you take one down, pass it around, and now you have 127 bugs on the wall. But sometimes you take a few steps forward, take a step back. A few steps forward, take a step back. But that's the great thing about active development. A lot of people don't get to see this side of game making.
Right.
And for good reason, because there are bugs, and it's not the most fluid experience. But the great thing about being able to see this and participate in this is not only will you get to, at the end of the day, look back and have a really clear picture on where we came from and to where we're going to end up, but also you had a voice in that process, right? And you got to interact with that. And one of the great things that I've experienced personally in having started the studios and being a gamer from the outside and now getting to see behind the curtain and be a part of that development process it's a wild ride.
It is.
It's a wild ride, and it's a lot of fun. And there can be some long nights.
But it's all in spirit of getting things done,
exactly.
right? Like it's a product that we are creating, right? It's not just art on a wall. Not that that means anything.
Right.
Sorry, artists.
But
it's there's a there's a lot of work that goes into it, and everybody kind of has to do their part. And we've set goals for ourselves, and that means that we need to fulfill those goals. And so everybody in the studio is like, this is going to be a late night, but at the end of the day, we're going to hit that goal, and we're going to do what we want to be doing.
Right. Absolutely. So before we get into showing you guys the video and having a little bit more of in-depth discussion about Apocalypse and the announcement that we have, why don't we go ahead and actually show some of those December, we'll show you guys the December cosmetics. So these will be released, I believe they get released tomorrow, or is it today? No, tomorrow, it's tomorrow. These will be up tomorrow. What's our first one? What do we got?
So the first thing up is the Frost Guard cloak.
Ooh, Frost Guard cloak. I love the fullness of the fur around the. No animals were harmed in the production of this cosmetic piece, but
it's all faux fur.
It's all faux fur.
They're good at synthetics.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about this cloak.
These cloaks are designated for the Frost Guard Expeditionary Team. Nice. That is a group of elite veterans that are tasked with mapping and gathering intelligence from the northern reaches of Vera.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's very cool. So now, would a great effect for this, if you were wearing this, would be like, wherever you walk, there's always a little bit of snow just above you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Keep it cold here.
Keep it cold. It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. All right, what's our next one? Oh, is this Elsa's castle?
There you go.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so this is actually a building skin for one of our social buildings. The kind of text behind this is that it's forged from ice and magic. It's considered a great hall that has excellent acoustics and even better lighting. It's loved by bards the world over. Performers often make special pilgrimages to these places. They can elevate even the most awful shows into something magical.
Nice. And this is the prism of the frozen glade?
That is correct.
Nice. Looks good.
Very good.
Can this also have snow over it? Just over it?
We'll just put snow on everything.
Just snow on everything.
everything.
All snow.
I always remind you of
All
December.
snow everywhere.
Not December in San Diego.
No.
December in Chicago.
What's this next one? I love the polar bears.
So this is Erlor's Expedition. This is a skin for a caravan. And as you can see, this caravan is set to go somewhere frosty. Ulor was a kind of a famous dwarven caravan leader, and he did some pretty special things, and you'll hear about that later. But this is named after him and his exploits in the north.
Nice. Now, instead of snow falling on this one, can we just have snow on the ground always, wherever it goes?
Just always snowy.
Yeah.
And then anybody who attacks the caravan slips.
Slips, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
net. Well, that would be
To be
pay
fair,
to
that's
win.
pay to
win.
That's pay to win. We can't do that.
But we can dream, right?
We
Like,
could
these are
dream.
things that we can do in the future.
Love it. Oh, and is there any Coca-Cola
snow.
bottles inside of that caravan?
That's
No.
going to have to be something that you
We would have to talk with
arrange
Coca-Cola
with
about that.
Coca-Cola.
Maybe.
That's right.
We'll see.
We'll have product placement.
Get 'em on the line.
Ashes of creation.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, that's a dead fox.
Oh, yeah, okay.
On his,
I was like, oh.
on his shoulder. No, on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fushi. Okay, go ahead.
So this is the Frigid Hunter costume. For those who decide to put down roots in the frigid north, warm wear is always recommended. This particular style is adapted from the style of barbarians of Sanctus, incorporating local furs and leathers for an exceptionally insulated ensemble.
Oh, looks good. I like that
Your
one.
description reading is very like, it reminds you of like Price is Right, like when they go.
I think that's where I'm bringing
yes!
from. I'm channeling Bob
Where they do the
Barker.
product description.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really good. This is my favorite part. All right.
And look at this magical beast. We call this the Arctic Prowler. It is an owl and a bear.
And
And a little bit of a owl bear.
A little bit of an owl bear.
This is another one of Vera's chimeric creatures. The Arctic Prowler is a terrifying foe, but a surprisingly staid mount. One of the more intelligent of the animal species found on this planet, it learns commands readily and can form lasting bonds with humanoids who treat them well.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love the wings on that.
The
guy.
wings
Yeah, the
are
wings
great.
are great. I think this is my favorite.
And-
I just love goats.
This is the winter nith. It's often mistaken for baby unicorn by those who are newly arrived on Vera. Nith are actually their own unique species, though. They have a very long lifespan, but breed very rarely. Seeing one is considered to be auspicious, and poaching one is inadvisable. Not only do they seem to have command of Vera's unusual mystic energies, making them a formidable foe, but their death can invoke a curse on those responsible, whether it be through trap or by bow.
That guy's cool.
But yeah, he's going to be a
very
pet
cool.
that you can bring along with you on
So
your travels.
now, can we have this particular pet instead of like any effects or anything? But
Snow?
no, not snow. But perhaps like when it is running around and whatnot.
I knew exactly what you were looking at.
Can we just do
Before you
that?
even did it. Yeah.
Yes, we can do that
Absolutely.
on loop.
Right. The players will love it.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Just have it scream a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
How about for everybody who doesn't own the pet?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the curse.
This one. This
That's
one.
the
No matter
curse.
where you go.
Thank you, Goat.
Right.
Thank you, Goat.
Oh no, I'm sorry guys. I had to do that. I had to do that. Oh, that would be great. No, those look good. I
Yeah,
love
no.
those. I love the wintry
It's a good
Makes you
theme.
feel all warm and cozy.
the wintry. So I think there was a discussion in the community whether or not that should be named winter nymph or unigoat or goaticorn.
Goaticorn, I like. Come on.
Very good.
Goaticorn
quality.
is pretty cool. Yeah,
Kind
I
of
like
rolls
that.
off the tongue.
Right.
Yeah, that looks great. Very cool. I like those. Those are awesome. So those are the December cosmetic store update, which will be available tomorrow, guys. Okay, let's move into. Well, let's show. Well, hold on. Let me think. What should we do next? Let's do the video and the announcement. What do you think?
Sounds good.
I think that's about right.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Sounds like a
here's
plan.
here's what we're gonna do. We are going to show you an updated video that contains footage from the current internal testing of Castle Sieges, as well as shows off some of the latest footage of the Battle Royale. And there is going to be an announcement at the end of this video, and we're really excited about this announcement because there's an opportunity for everyone to get their hands on
Ashes of Creation.
Ashes of Creation and into the world, right, of Ashes of Creation. So let's go ahead and we'll roll the video, and then we'll come back and chat with you guys exactly what this means.
Steve.
Oh. Sorry, guys. I was watching.
so into the
I was
stream.
watching with you guys. There's a little bit of a delay. So, as you guys saw there at the end, by the way, okay, what you're seeing in that trailer is our latest and greatest from. Actually, that footage was yesterday and the day before that we were recording most of it. But it has updates to our hit registration. It's showing some differences in the melee combat and how stamina is used. It had some footage from the castle sieges, and we are. Players and for CIS and Russian players, and you may now visit the apocalypse.ashesofcreation.com to register for the.
Sound cut out for a hot minute.
And the
there.
video's playing again.
Oh, and the video's playing again.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that was on purpose.
Oh, okay, our sound cut off. I'm
So
sorry.
the region information got cut.
Okay, our sound got cut off for a second, so let me reiterate that. The stop.
What? I'm not doing it.
Totally. The registration is now open at apocalypse.ashesofcreation.com. We're excited that our partners, my.com and Mail.ru, also have their website open as well for registration. You'll be seeing some news announcements coming out over the next couple days. We're going to be actually as well, if you are a Beta 1 backer for Ashes of Creation, you will be getting an invite to this weekend's test.
Yep, we're in the final phases. We basically gotten to the finish line. We are going to be releasing this project. It's its own kind of standalone thing that everybody can kind of get into and play right now. And we'll basically continue on towards the final product, which is Ashes of Creation, the MMO.
Absolutely.
So one of the great things about this is that we get to really kind of see what we can do in the big boy space.
Yes.
And, you know, we'll treat this like its own product.
Get as many players as possible to hit our backend, to hit our servers, to touch our Castle Siege designs. We want to push the amount of players that are going to be present in the Battle Royale maps or in the Castle Sieges to the hundreds of players. In preparation for what we expect to have in Ashes of Creation. We want to perfect that player replication. We want to perfect the server performance on frame rate. We want to perfect pretty much anything that goes into, you know, one of the interesting things about being an MMO player for so long is that, you know, I've never really come across an MMO that's had a good quote unquote launch, right? There's always been either, you know, major problems related. It's rough. I know it's definitely rough out there, and you know, bless their hearts. But there's you know, either I remember there was a couple of MMOs where I had to sit in queue just to log into the server for like 10 hours. And then at the end of that 10-hour queue,
everything crashed.
Right, I got into the character creation, and then I got kicked out and had to sit in the 10-hour queue again, and that lasted for like weeks. But you know, one of our primary goals here is to get as much of that testing done as possible. And Apocalypse offers a way for us to literally hit our servers potentially with hundreds of thousands of players. Right?
And to do it over and over again.
And that's what we want to see, because as we move into Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 and the beta periods of Ashes of Creation, and we're continuing this development forward, we don't want to see those types of problems, at least to that degree that many of us have experienced over the years in playing MMOs.
And especially that launch day, right? Like, you don't often get a chance to redo your launch.
Right.
That launch day is what everybody remembers.
Absolutely.
And it sticks with you throughout the rest of your MMO's career, right? And we want to make sure that that first day for us is amazing.
It's amazing, absolutely.
And, this is kind of on the path toward that. So it's something that is going to be really great for the studio, I think, long term.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing about the difference between, you know, Apocalypse and being a standalone that's going to be released out into the public versus our Alpha 1 and Beta 2 and our Alpha 1, Alpha 2 beta periods is that the Alpha 1 and the beta periods, those exist for a period of time, and then they're brought down for further development, right? So Apocalypse will persist. and it will be a live game that will last throughout.
And the great thing about it is that we've got so much stuff to update it with, right? Like as we continue to make progress on the MMO, some of that stuff will find its way into Apocalypse, and kind of vice versa. As we test out systems that we're not quite sure about in Apocalypse, they'll make their way into the MMO. So it's a great way to keep things public, keep things in players' hands,
absolutely,
and to kind of iterate sort of publicly almost.
Now let's talk a little bit about now I know that you know, a lot of people out there, we've talked about how you can earn cosmetic rewards, right? And part of the incentive for players to participate in Apocalypse is some of these cosmetic rewards. So maybe we'll let's take a look at some of the art assets, and let's describe a little bit about how players go about earning these rewards, and what exactly the questing system entails in Apocalypse. So do we have...
We do. We have an
nice,
axe
very
right
good.
there. They may have seen that.
Now they've seen, they saw that. But this isn't a cosmetic. I'm sorry. This is your standard axe, correct?
Bog standard axe. This is what you start out with.
Right. So this is your starting weapon, and right now in the battle royale. Let's take a look at the a variant of this.
Sure.
And we'll talk a little bit about. There we go. Okay. So here's some examples about of how the axe can kind of have these variants. I'm not sure which one this is.
This is
the
Eldritch
or the Hallowed?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the Hallowed variant axe. And this is something that the way that Apocalypse is going to work is you're going to have an adventure path. And actually, we're going to turn on those systems in today's stress test that we have at 4 o'clock for Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 backers, I believe, perhaps, maybe.
We're going to try to.
We're going to try to. But what's going to happen is you're going to have an adventuring path. And that adventuring path is going to come with weekly quests and daily quests that you can participate in that will be available for the castle sieges, for the horde, and for the battle royale. And as you complete these quests, you're going to gain experience. And right now you have up to 50 levels, which matches the intended cap for Ashes of Creation. 50 levels of the adventure path that you can advance in. And as you advance in each of these levels, you're going to be unlocking certain assets, such as these weapon skins. Now, the great thing about players' progress in Apocalypse is that you will share the same account from Apocalypse to Ashes of Creation, the MMORPG. And anything that you earn in Apocalypse will be in Ashes of Creation, the MMORPG.
Right.
A unique, as a skin, exactly, as skins that you will have access to for helping us test Apocalypse and preparing these different alpha and beta stages for Ashes of Creation. So here's an example of some of the weapon skins. Let's keep going. What do we have next? So here's another variant.
This is the Arcanic skin.
The Arcanic skin. We have the
Pyroclastic skin.
Pyroclastic. I like the pyroclastic stuff.
And this is the Eldritch. This is my favorite.
Oh, you like the Eldritch. Eldritch, yeah, I like the Eldritch too.
And most of this, you see that it's kind of glowy. It actually does glow in game. It's really pretty.
Yeah, it has some missiles.
It's really cool, like
So
in play.
Base Morningstar sorry.
Yeah, that's the Thundering Mace.
Mace, yep. And some of the variants again. So just taking a look at how those variants get applied.
So again, that was the Hallowed. This is the Arcanic, and
go ahead. Pyroclastic.
Pyroclastic.
Now, the interesting thing about, and you can just keep scrolling through these as we talk. The interesting thing about the questing in Ashes of Creation Apocalypse is that it will contain lore through these quests that will give you insight to the happenings of
Vera during the fall.
Vera during the fall.
So
exactly.
it's going to be split up into chapters. Each chapter is going to run about 10 weeks. Chapter 1 is called the Exodus, and it's going to kind of walk you through a little bit of what happened in the initial fall and get things sort of set up for the coming chapters. Now, we're not giving away all of the lore, but we're going to give you enough hints and enough insight into what's going on to sort of prepare you for what happens when we launch the MMO.
Right.
So
just to give you an understanding of the setting, like what happened before you came back here? What did your ancestors have to go through? Right? What did these civilizations endure? And then to kind of set the scene for, we've described this before, but initially when you're playing the Battle Royale, you're a part of the last group of survivors to try to leave Vera. and as you're leaving, you get cut off. The slipstream ends, and you start falling back to the planet. Now, the activities that occur and the fighting amongst yourself is a result of the influence of corruption, right? Corrupting your soul, basically. As we move into the castle siege modes, that's where you see the survivors now trying to seek refuge in some of the last defendable bastions of society, of
Places
civilization.
that have not been touched by the corruption.
Absolutely. So you're kind of fighting over those for your families and your friends to get into that keep to try to ride out the storm, so to say. And that's what the castle siege is predicated on. Then moving into the hordes this is now the final showdown.
The last stand.
The
there
last
are no
stand.
portals to escape from.
Right.
And so how long can you last?
How long can you last? And that's kind of the narrative behind Apocalypse as a whole. You get to play throughout each of these stages. You get to experience the world of Ashes of Creation. You get to take a peek under the hood of the art assets and the style that art will be when you play the game. And at the same time, while you're doing all of that and we're hitting the servers with as many people as possible, we are continuing production and implementing new art, and we are updating those chapters of this story. And that's what each season, so to speak, is called for us as a chapter.
Yep.
In fact, the first chapter of Apocalypse will be titled The Exodus. So chapter 1 is the Exodus. And players will have an opportunity to earn unique rewards in each chapter. So that chapter's period of time is roughly 10 weeks. Between 8 and 12. We'll see how those go, but right now it's set for 10 weeks. And every 10 weeks you're going to see an introduction of new content. So it kind of shows you, the content that we're creating for Ashes of Creation, a portion of that will be present in Apocalypse. That players can earn. So this might be, the halberd that a guardsman would use at a stage 5 node, or this could be, legendary, ancient, antique armors and weapons that you find out in the world in Ashes of Creation that you may have found previously these skins for. So, we're really excited to actually, the interesting thing about MMORPGs is that it has such a long lifespan of development.
Yep.
And usually nobody gets to touch or see these assets that have been in production for years until launch day, right? Or until the alpha or beta, right? And what we're doing here is, we're literally taking this stuff hot off of the production
Doing it in
table,
real time.
and we're throwing it into Apocalypse. And the other great thing about that from a testing perspective is that this goes in the real hands of players, and we get to see, the little animation bugs, or the skinning and weighting bugs, or
just the weird stuff that players do.
Absolutely, and we get to optimize those assets as well, right, in real time, without having to wait for different alpha and beta periods that we have to get up to. So that means that when those alpha and beta periods happen, a lot of these things will have already had testing
a lot
under
of
the
hard
belt.
stuff, right?
So
Like
that
a lot of the
yes.
hard stuff will have been gotten out of the way, and we'll really be able to focus on the content and building out this world and making it something beautiful.
Absolutely. So we're pretty excited about that. And these are some great weapons. I love the weapons. I think we have a armor at the end of the railroad here, don't we? Oh, wow, nice. So now which one is this? Is the obsidian? Yeah. So this is an example of the obsidian set of armor. So now we have some announcements. Now, obviously, running Apocalypse is not free. We have to host servers, and we're going to be hosting these servers. So there will be a shop that's present, and there will be, the chapter will have a legendary path that can be purchased as well. However, there are how many assets are there on the earnable rewards that do not need to be purchased, or you do not need to have a legendary path with? Do we have that number? I think Josh might have sent us that in the Slack. I think he sent to you, perhaps. I'm sorry. We should know that number offhand.
We were not prepared. I know the legendary path.
Yeah, I know the legendary path.
I know there's a total of 71 rewards, but the earnable ones, I believe there is every 10 weeks there's a total of around, I think it's 15 to 20. So these includes mounts, these include costumes. They include the weapon skins, hairstyles,
emotes,
specific emotes that are present. Those are all earnable. Now, should players choose to do the legendary path, I believe that is a purchase of $10 for 10 weeks. However, we are announcing that all Alpha 1 backers will receive a lifetime membership to the legendary path of the adventure path. So for as long as Apocalypse exists, all Alpha 1 backers will have a lifetime membership. You will not need to purchase that for the additional 60 plus rewards, I think, that are offered in that path. In addition, as recognition for the amount of hard work that our Alpha 2 backers have put into the game, and we're inviting Beta 1 backers this weekend and Beta 2 backers next week. We will be giving the first chapter, the Exodus, for free to all of our Alpha 2 and Beta 1 and 2 backers as well. So that is really, from us to you guys, it is not possible for us to be able to make the progress and the speed that we have made it without the participation of you guys as testers. And it is really exciting, for us to be able to release a game that is a precursor to Ashes of Creation and get players involved and have something to work towards.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those. I think it's a really cool project, right? Because number one, like you guys get to play in Ashes of Creation before it's actually done, and it's this perpetual thing that kind of gets it in everybody's hands. Long before the actual MMO is complete. So it's something that we're pretty excited about. Then it's also a really good thing for the studio. A lot of us are pretty hardened veterans, but we've never all launched a game together, and this sort of gives us a practice run, a dress rehearsal, if you will, as a studio, as a team, to get this thing done. And again, launching something is a very different process than working on something. There's a lot that's involved in that, and a lot of stuff to learn, a lot of kinks to work out, and a lot of sort of team building in order to get everybody on the same page for kind of a big event like this. So,
Absolutely.
It's really good for the team. Morale's pretty high here, and we're all pretty excited to see this come out the door.
Very excited, absolutely. Okay, let us discuss a little bit about, I'm sorry, what was the next topic?
We're doing pretty good. We're actually right about there.
Oh, okay, very good. So, okay, so in addition to all of this information, which is a lot, we know, but we are going to be having another live stream next week. And that is going to be all about the continued production that we have been in for the MMORPG. And we are going to have a game developers playthrough, which should be probably about 20 to 30 minutes
Something
long,
like that.
Showing questing, fighting with monsters, a couple of raid bosses, which you may have seen before, but showing all of the MMO progress that we have made over the past several months since we last saw you guys at PAX East or West? I think it was West. I don't know. One of those.
I get my coast mistake.
But that will be next week. Probably will be on Thursday. But we'll make an announcement and send out a newsletter for that.
Yeah, once we're ready for that.
Once we're ready for that. And this is to show you guys really just how transferable between Apocalypse and the MMO.
How this stuff all integrates
How
and
it
gets put
integrates,
together.
exactly, yes. So we're excited to show you guys that, and it will be next week that we do that. Okay, let's open it up to some Q&A. If one of the moderators on Discord, unless I'm missing something, did I forget anything?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, let's open up to Q&A. If one of you guys, one of the moderators can open up a channel in Discord, we'll also, if one of you guys wants to jump on the forums, I think there is a thread there for Q&A.
While you're waiting, would you like to maybe repeat the stuff from after the trailer that was
Oh,
cut
did
off
I
one
miss
more
something?
time?
Well, I don't know what exactly we missed from that, but
I think we mentioned it was some regional stuff.
right, some regional stuff. December 18th, all people will be able to play Ashes of Creation Apocalypse. You can go now to register. If you have not already registered on Ashes of Creation website, you can go now to apocalypse.ashesofcreation.com, and you can register there.
Yep.
And we're pretty excited about that. I think that was pretty much what I mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, let me open up Discord. Do we have Discord? Live. We should be able to put up live stream Q&A.
Okay.
There we go. I got it. Okay.
Nice. I'm failing.
I have gotten that. Oh, I am so sorry. I don't remember if we mentioned this. We did mention that everything in Apocalypse will be transferred on your account to the MMORPG. Okay, very good. Okay. Question from Guildheart. First question. Gauntlets, as in with fighting fists, will it be in the game? If you can't answer that, then cartography. Thoughts on that being an artisan class? So with regards to cartography, we do plan to have, it's not exactly cartography, but it does involve maps and pinpointing the location of treasures throughout the world. And as you are able to find these treasures, you will create better maps and hinting the location through either rumor mills or your interaction with different NPCs and having access to the potential dig sites that may be present for treasure finding. Gauntlets, we do have fisted or fist weapons, don't we? Where we're talking about cestises.
It's on the roadmap as sort of a stretch goal,
Okay.
but it's not something that's confirmed yet.
Got
it's
it.
going to depend on animation and
Perfect.
those resources.
Okay, question from Peon. Question, you mentioned that we can use the cosmetics earned from the BR in the MMORPG. It's not just the BR, it's the BR, the Castle Sieges, and the Horde mode. They'll all have unique cosmetics and they'll all be transferred into the MMORPG with your account. Will there be any restrictions on this? Aren't you worried that being able to equip this stuff at level 1? Okay, perfect. That's a great question. So it's not that you'll be able to equip necessarily an item at level 1. These are all cosmetic skins. Again, we are not about the pay-to-win or pay-to-convenience life. What we want to do instead is, as you earn, craft, or find equipment in the MMORPG, these skins that you've earned in Apocalypse will be available at certain tiers, levels, and or access points. So for example, we have different grades of mounts, right? We have the base 1 land mounts. We have the royal mounts. We have the flying mounts if you're a mayor or a king or queen. We have legendary mounts. These classes of mounts will have available skins associated with those particular classes. So, for example, if it's just a land mount and we have, let's say, the what was the name of that one that we were just doing with the ram?
The Ram Strider?
The Ram Strider. If you have the Ram Strider skin that you've earned from Apocalypse, you'll be able to apply that to your first land mount, which will probably be earned within the first 5 levels you'll earn a land mount. However, if you have, let's say, for example, the Griffin, which will be a glidable mount, I'm sorry, what's the name of the night one? The Midnight, is the Midnight Bird or something like that?
The Night Hunter?
The Night Hunter. I think that's it.
Yep,
if you have that skin, you'll only be able to apply that skin to a royal mount. So you'll still have to earn these things. Remember, our position is that of you need to earn these things in Ashes first. They're not purchasable or earned outside in Apocalypse, and you're granted that immediately. These are skins that you apply to the things you earn in Ashes. We still want to keep that economic principle of risk versus reward and not being able to pay to win or pay to convenience. These are things that you still have to earn. That's a great question, Peon. Thank you very much. Okay, let me, you got one from the...
I've got one. What does Steven want for Christmas?
What I want for Christmas is to find the, for our next hiring phase, to make sure we get the absolute most veteran and best possible hires from each of these positions. No, just kidding.
No, it's a great way. That's from Sindel W.
Yeah. What I want for Christmas is I want you guys to have fun, and I want you to enjoy and have a clean send-off for Apocalypse so that you guys can enjoy the world of Vera early, and that our castle sieges come to you and are fun to play, and we move on to Horde as well. That's my Christmas. And other than that, yeah, I don't really know what I want for Christmas. What's another one we got?
Karthos. Any plans for aquatic freeholds, such as a coastal river freehold that you can use to farm fish, or maybe have a dock to launch ships from? So there's kind of two answers to this. One is that I probably can't say it, so I'm not going to say it. But we have some plans in the future for something that's extremely aquatic. But in terms of what you're asking specifically, that is part of what we're talking about for the freehold system, where depending on where you place your freehold, you're going to have different environmental tiles available to you, and those will kind of enable or buff existing structures that you place on your freehold. So while it's not exactly that, I don't know that we would put like fish farming just for a freehold that's on a river. What we would probably do is give you a buff to fishing in that area, that kind of a thing. So there'll be more buffs for existing things rather than necessarily special buildings just for that area. But again, we're not fully baked in on that system yet, so it's very possible that we end up going down the direction.
Okay, very good. Somebody says Nithhorn crafting mats? Question mark. Ooh,
remember, that's a really bad idea.
That's spicy. Okay, question from Hicks. How do Alpha 1 backers get their packs on my.com for Apocalypse? So the way that works is if you own a package or a Kickstarter account or a Summer Backer, that is an Intrepid account. And we will potentially have an answer for transferring over to my.com or Mail.ru, and we'll detail that out in the coming future very soon, before obviously we have those testing periods. Do Alpha backers need to register for APOC as well? As long as you own an account on ashesofcreation.com already, there will be a migration process that you will receive information about in the coming week, probably, and then probably next week, I would imagine, before obviously December 18th, that you will be able to log in and migrate that account over. So you don't need to re-register. Will we get real greatswords? Yes, you will get real greatswords. The greatest of swords.
The greatest of swords?
Yes, we know a lot of great swords.
We do. Right. The experts tell me I have the greatest swords.
The experts say we have the greatest swords. Oh my goodness. Jailon asks, are we still on time for Castle Siege mode at the end of December? So again, Castle Siege and Horde mode, those will be first tested by Alpha 1 backers for roughly a month, maybe a little bit longer. But the end of December is when we first plan to have some external testing with our Alpha 1 backers logging into the Castle Siege map and doing some things. All the features will not necessarily, may not necessarily be there, although we hope to, and it's still on schedule for that. But end of December is when we plan to have Alpha 1 backers logging into the Castle Siege map. Will there be a purchasable soundtrack? Potentially. Maybe.
We hope so. We hope the soundtrack is good enough that people can purchase it.
Bear is a great composer, and you'll be seeing music from Bear soon, trademark. You cannot rush art.
You can't.
Well, you can, but...
It usually ends up not so good.
Right. Pendragon asks, will you guys be going to PAX South? We will not be going to PAX South. However, we did recently reserve our space on the floor for PAX East, but we will let you know as soon as that is final about PAX East. Okay, question from
Every Hole is a Goal.
Nice.
How much of an effect will RNG have on PvP? RNG in PvP can be frustrating, especially when you can outplay your opponent.
What? I didn't even hear the question.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry. Can you read that over one more time? Not the name, the question.
They're talking about golf.
Oh, okay.
How much of an effect will RNG have on PvP? RNG in PvP can be frustrating, especially when you can outplay your opponent, but RNG mechanics, for example, CC resistance chance or hit damage chance get in the way and you lose because of it. P.S. I'm fine with crit chance. So the way that our game is structured with the hybrid action, tab-targeted sort of hybrid, RNG is always going to play a role in Ashes of Creation, whether that be in PvP or PvE. But one way to mitigate that is through the action system. The action system is going to be far less sort of dependent on those dice rolls, and they'll be far more in your own hands. It won't ever completely eliminate that, but it's a way for us to sort of reward skilled play versus sort of tactical strategies type play.
I mean, the way the stats are set up, that you can mitigate that by raising stats, lowering stats. It's not a flat like this works exactly 50% of the time for everything. So that kind of RNG isn't as common.
A question from Soluna. Could you please add an option that we change our profile picture on the Ashes website? Yes. Is that in the new? That's in the new. That's in the new website. We're going to be running. By the way, we're going to be running testing with Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Beta 1, and Beta 2 backers for a lot of the new site functions over the next week, roughly, as we prepare for the new website launch. So be prepared, if you're a backer, to receive emails with instructions on how you can help us stress test the website, the new website, as we launch it. And you'll be able to see some of those new features when we begin that testing. We did open the new site's registration and the landing page for Apocalypse. That's part of the new site structure. But we'll be launching the whole new site and its account registration process before the 18th. And testing will probably begin this weekend, I think, if it hasn't already today. Shays asks, will there be a free version of the pass available for registered users within the Apocalypse? Yes. All players, everyone, has a free adventuring path in Apocalypse. And that free path includes the questing. You can still level up to 50. You will gain rewards and cosmetics. I think there's about 15 to 20 cosmetics you can gain. And then if you choose to, you may purchase the legendary path, which contains like another 50 plus rewards, I believe, for cosmetics, as well as a shop for like one-off cosmetics, I think, too. What do Kickstarters get? So all backers, that includes Kickstarters, summer backers, and anyone who's pre-ordered a package, will receive the first chapter, the legendary path, for free. That's the first 70 days. You will have 71 different cosmetic or rewards that you can earn over the next, from December 18th until whenever 70 days is past that.
March-ish?
Yeah, I don't know. And then additionally, Alpha 1 backers will have a lifetime membership. All Alpha 1 backers, including Intrepid pack owners, all Alpha 1 backers will have a lifetime membership to the legendary path for Apocalypse. Okay, here we go. Next one. Question. Eldritch skins are nice. HP Lovecraft style enemies are confirmed. There's some.
Smile.
Smiley face. Okay, question from Daddy Issues. Wow. Okay. Question is, Nodes 3 when? So, funny that you ask.
We were just talking about that.
We were just talking about that. One of the key components that we want to hit from a development standpoint before we release Nodes 3 really has to do with an overall picture of the MMORPG map, which is what we are right now completing that in the game world itself, and getting to see the spread between all available nodes, so that you guys get an actual in-game view of this broad open area map. When that is complete, that's one of the last puzzle pieces before we feel comfortable with Nodes 3, and that is currently in
the pipe.
In the pipe.
5x5.
5 by what?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't even know if I used that right.
Okay, Versace asks, do you plan on speeding up the combat, such as Black Desert Online, how it is fast-paced, or is the combat you have now plan to keep it? So it's important to note, Apocalypse is a pure action combat arena. So it does not contain our hybrid system. Although Castle Sieges and Horde mode will have the class kits available, they are still going to be all action-based. So the the combat you're seeing now in Apocalypse is our action side of things that we're really testing.
And it's probably going to be about as fast as it could possibly get. It's not going to get too much more frenetic than it is already. If anything, it'll be slowed down more to give people, space and time. And certainly the time to kill will be quite a bit longer
We gotta repair your
in the
mic,
MMO.
Steven.
My mic?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, Steven, we can't hear you anymore.
I can't hear me.
Yeah, mine's flashing too now.
Is mine flashing? I'm
Is mine
the only one
flashing?
who can
Hold the pair
talk.
button.
Oh, the pair?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm pairing.
Okay. Paired. All right.
I'm a
now-
pair.
Now you pair again.
I'm a pair.
I'm a pair.
Reminds me of a
Wasn't
joke.
there a
I'm not
book
gonna tell
about a
this.
pair? Somebody who lived in a pair and rode on the ocean. I read that when I was a child.
Was it?
I did not read it.
Was it a pear or was it an apple? I can't remember. Peach. Is
James
somebody
and
in
the
the
Giant
James
Peach.
and the Giant Peach.
Yep, just like pear.
Mic check real quick. Steven, you talk.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Usually we have these audio issues at the beginning of the stream.
That's right. We're ending.
It's
strong.
kind of weird for it to happen now.
Yeah.
I was trying to fix his because his wasn't on.
Ah.
Apparently, you were paired to his receiver.
Oh, how weird. Peter, why'd you do that?
Peaches and pears.
Peaches and pears.
Apples and oranges.
Okay. I'm sorry. Did we end up not answering that question?
What was the question?
Oh, I
We did,
can't
but our mics
remember.
were off. We're sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't remember what.
Okay, Bacon asks, Michael Bacon has
Go
put a
ahead and give me
question.
your mic.
Uh-oh.
Are we switching?
Did we switch?
Yeah,
Why?
we're gonna do a shuffle.
Here,
A swaparoo.
let's shuffle.
Okay.
Isn't that like
We need a guy in like a black shirt. Come on.
So what?
Okay.
What's happening?
All right.
I think I'm
Can you
actually
hear?
sitting here.
Okay.
What is
Sorry,
that?
sorry about that, guys. I apologize. It wouldn't be a stream without audio issues.
Wouldn't be.
They're peach issues.
Am I good to go now? Yes? Okay. For many people who could not join for the most recent test due to not being able to log into the launcher because of random rejections, will these accounts will be fixed before Apocalypse? Yes. Okay, Hero, great question. So some of the issues that these tests that we've been conducting recently have been addressing is our installer and patching process. We have completely redone that to address some of the issues that we were seeing. And we'll be rolling out that new launcher, I think, on Saturday's test.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yes.
Is to really bang on that.
Yes, and that is an advanced installer that actually is going to go. It is going to be top notch. So that's one of the major issues that we saw. Another thing that
So
we
keep
were
trying, please.
Yes,
like
please.
we would be very curious to know who is this.
Well, not only that, it's Hero, but
Hero.
not only when you fail to connect, we receive logs from that. Even as you disconnect from our back end and you're failing to authenticate, we're seeing who that is, why they dropped, the timeout time, location, what was their packet loss, what was the latency they were experiencing, where did they see the hiccup in their installation side and the patching process. So it's important that even if you fail, you do that a couple of times so we can see what that is. And that's what we're collecting our information on. Oh, and another thing, part of this week and this weekend's test is also nailing down some of the few replications errors. You may have seen this yesterday that players were running sideways in the test, and that had to do between when players would land on their Griffin and they would send an update to nearby players. Hey, I've switched states from riding to falling to now my idle state, my combat idle state. They get stuck on one of those and it doesn't replicate correctly to the other players. That's something we've addressed yesterday and we'll be hopefully having either a fix today for it or you'll see that fix on Saturday's session. So we're getting some of those fixed out. You'll see also that we did a few 100-player matches yesterday. That was good. We got a lot of great metrics on that. We saw good performance on the back end from that. But there were some interesting latency issues with hit registration. We've addressed those as well.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. Do we have any more questions from the website?
I got distracted.
Punk T asks, how sure are you that the development of Apocalypse games will not interfere with the timeline of the original base MMO? So the way that we're certain in that, and you'll see this next week as we show you MMO development and where that is in relation to Alpha 1, is because everything that is done in Apocalypse is done for the MMORPG as well, including all of the weapons and how they cast certain spells. Those are all spells that will be found within the skill trees. Including all the art that you see, the server architecture, the back end, the way that we authenticate accounts, the way that we have account services, fulfill rewards and quest advancement. All of those things are the MMORPG. They're just done in a different mode to accommodate a fun atmosphere that can be persistent until our launch of the MMORPG.
And it doesn't require a lot of content on our part because we still have so much content to build. This kind of gives things, it's a good place to do this kind of a test because it kind of checks all the check boxes for the information that we need right now. As we go forward, the Castle Siege, while it's going to be a really fun mode, it's also going to be testing really specific things for us. Yes. Same thing with the Horde mode. Those will be very specific tests that happen to be fun game modes, and they will give us the kind of data that we need at that time. Oh,
important note. Actually, I apologize. If you have embers from pre-order packages, you'll be able to use those if you wish in Apocalypse to either purchase unique cosmetics or to purchase the adventure, the legendary adventure path. Additionally, the adventure path, even on the free track, contains ember rewards where you can earn embers just for playing. And those embers will carry over with you into the MMORPG for you to purchase if you choose MMORPG cosmetics when the MMORPG launches. That was that. that was that point. What other questions did we have from?
I think we're actually getting close to saying goodbye.
But no, not like this.
Maybe one more from each.
Defense asks, when will you be releasing the MOBA version of the game? We won't be releasing a MOBA version of the game.
A what?
A MOBA.
Oh, MOBA version.
Yes, there will not be a MOBA version of the game. We do not have a MOBA version.
What's something we talked about though at one point?
It was a long time ago, but decided not to do that as part of the Ashes of Creation universe.
Yet.
Or probably
never
ever.
Say
Never say never. Tolnar reveal when ready. Is Apocalypse going to be solely PvP or will it also be PvE and world questing? Penny, great question. The Horde mode is purely PvE. So when the Horde mode releases, it will be a cooperative defense with up to 50 other players. And you will be defending against waves of NPCs
and bosses,
and we'll be able to test all those things. It'll be great. Can we make custom emotes? Oh my gosh, I think that was something that we talked about a long time ago. I really wanted to do where, I played a game where you can create custom songs, right? It would be awesome if we had, and I know we talked about this, and you're giving me that face.
But, no. Yes, that was my face. That was my face.
But
I shouldn't deny
if we had blend states between available animations for custom dances.
It would be amazing.
It would be amazing. All right, you heard it from Jeff's lips himself. We're going for it.
I didn't say...
Well, what? What? You just said it. It's on record. I'm just kidding.
Steven is shortening my life.
I love it. Okay, question from Valhas. Will there be an active block in game or will ranged be king? So Valhas, there currently is in Apocalypse an active block. The Sword and Shield weapon has a stance that deploys a shield in front of you. And that shield is an actual hitbox that blocks projectiles, an active blocking stance. And we're playing, that's just the first, that's literally the first rollout of that. We want to play more with that and see how that happens. Alex PG says, please tell me that AOC will not be a laggy mess like so many other MMOs. It will not be a laggy mess like so many other MMOs. And the reason for that is because we are, especially with the deployment of Apocalypse, we are leveraging cloud computing and the cloud infrastructure to provide servers close to locations throughout the world so that wherever you might be, and those servers will be tagged with their location and latency for you so that when you pick your server, it will be in an appropriate location, not subject to the location of a particular company's data server, right?
Right, and then also it's, all the optimizations that we're doing on our back end. It's all really super cool, customizable stuff that we're doing on our own, that we're building out, that we'll be able to support sort of this gigantic amount of people without actually, really hurting your performance doing it.
Yes, absolutely. Question from Dexter. How reckless are you planning to be versus bots and gold sellers and versus hackers, cheaters, and explorers? We're going to kick their butts. No,
well, we'll kick them off the server.
We're going to kick, yes, not physically. We've never harmed a person or a bot. Well, bot would be okay. But
can you harm a bot?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But anyways, we will be banning those individuals. And it's important to note that we are players. And, a lot of games have had their deaths because of rampant botting.
When there are more bots than there are people on the server, there's a problem.
There's a problem. And our goal is to have 0 bots on the server. So we have already very good partnerships with a couple of security resources that either track packet information and or behavioral metrics within the game. And we will be very vigilant against those particular.
It's all very cool technology that works pretty well.
It does. The emote question you didn't really answer. I was asking about custom text. Oh, okay, yeah, last one. Okay, hold on. Let me find a good last one. Okay, last one. Last one. I'm sorry, real quick one. Somebody asked about European servers. We will have European servers up and running. Second last. So next one. Beardly Funny. Can you confirm that indeed the current animations are placeholders and not the final version? Yes. We can confirm that animations, art in general, will continue to develop and get better. Part of being able to see a game in the state that Ashes of Creation is and in development is that you get to see those things as they continue to improve. So if I were you, what I would do is I would take a look at the videos on our YouTube from a year ago, or even slightly beyond a year ago, and I would see where they were then, and then I would take a look at the videos now, and I would see how much they've improved, and then I would project that out, 6, 8, 10 months, and see where you think we might end up. The great thing about art is, regardless of whatever code and design are doing, art's always moving.
It's always moving,
and it's always
something to do.
Always getting better. And Unreal Engine is such a great engine from a graphical fidelity standpoint, and from the tools that the artists have to work with out of the box, and also custom tools that we've created that interact even with different art software out there, that we can do amazing things, and we keep on doing new things as well as we develop. Okay, so I think that's the last of the questions. Guys, we are really excited to be able to launch the open beta for Apocalypse come December 18th. Along with our partners at My.com and Mail.ru, we intend to offer you the best possible service, and also to see you guys have fun on our servers, playing Apocalypse, getting immersed in the world of Ashes of Creation, looking forward to the castle sieges and the horde mode that are going to come out, being able to earn rewards and have a hands-on experience with Ashes of Creation in perpetuity, something that will continue forward as a 24/7 gaming experience. And everyone at the team here has been working an unbelievable amount in order to get this in a state that we feel comfortable handing it off to you guys to test for open beta. We cannot thank enough the absolute persistence, dedication, and commitment that our Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 backers have endured so far in helping us to get to a good state. And we still have a little ways to go before the 18th. And we appreciate that assistance as much as possible. And we look forward to inviting you guys into the game and seeing you guys having a lot of fun there. It is going to be an awesome experience for everyone here at the studios to hand something off to the community.
It's also scary as heck, but it's also really exciting too.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's scary. There's a lot of emotions. We honestly are very happy to have such a great community like you guys. Oh, one other quick thing. I'm sorry, real quick. We did hire a new community marketing lead / community manager who will be announced soon. Very soon.
We're really excited.
Very excited. She is a tremendous individual with a true gamer at heart, and she has had experience running some major MMOs that many of you have likely played. So we'll be announcing that soon. I'm sorry, that was a quick interruption.
It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. We love it. So we'll see you guys next week with an update from the MMORPG and a playthrough that's going to be roughly 30 minutes long. We can't wait to show you guys that. And testers, we'll see you tonight, and we'll see you over the weekend. And everybody, have a great week. We will see you all soon.
See you guys.
See you all next week.